What's good, John? Welcome to my review for Takeover War Games. So yeah, first Takeover of NXT 2.0. I was honestly very concerned about this kind of takeover and what would happen because obviously Triple H is no longer in charge. Man, how many people will you want to tell you like, oh, he's still in charge? He's not. You can tell he's not. To be fair, the show hasn't gotten to complete shit yet, but you can tell it ain't Triple H that's at the helm anymore. And I was worried, would Takeover feel the same? Would it be good? Would it be better than Survivor Series at the very least, And thankfully, for the first Takeover of 2.0 NXT, it was fantastic. I loved Takeover War Games this year. It was amazing, definitely a lot better than Survivor Series. And I would even dare say, I think I might have liked this more than Full Gear. Yeah, I said it. I'm probably going to get crucified for that in the comments, but hey, I think you could call me biased too, because of course, Johnny, and this is probably his last show. I forgot to say it's around the beginning of the show, or it might have been after the women's War Games match. Johnny said, "This is my first War Games, and possibly my last." And then you had his gear at the end of it when he made his entrance and Rebel Heart, which, the feels were hidden, man. When Rebel Heart started playing, I was getting them feels, man. I was getting the feels from Rebel Heart because I fucking love Sonic. Of course, it's connected with Takeover New York and Johnny and Adam Cole, which is like my favorite match of all time, man. So many memories. Anyway, so yeah, man. Now, I think like last year, and I don't know if this was the same thing for TakeOver or for War Games 2019, they bookended the show with the War Games matches. You had the women starting the show off, and then you had the men ending the show off. I don't know if this was the same for War Games 2019, but I believe this was a thing for TakeOver War Games last year, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But the women's War Games match was awesome. I was thoroughly entertained by it. I would probably say this is probably the weakest out of the three we have gone because there wasn't as much memorable stuff as we did get with the last War Games match. But this match was still off in its own right, man. So we started the match off. You had Dakota Kai versus Kaylee Ray. And they started off, and then Cora Jade made her appear to it. It appears that the people running NXT now are very high on her, considering she got the win and got the big spot of the match, which we'll talk about that big spot in a bit. Eventually, Gigi Dolan made her entrance, where she actually came in there rocking a trash can, and I love Gigi Dolan's ring gear tonight. Very good. I also like Cora Jade as well. She's pretty cute, man. She's also really good, man. But this is probably a weird question. Anyone else gotta get e-girl vibe from her? Like with the way she dressed and everything, you feel like you've seen her on like OnlyFans or something, or on Twitter promoting her OnlyFans. I don't mean any disrespect by that or anything. She's great in the ring, man. I like her. I definitely want to see more of her, but I'm just saying the way she just dresses and everything in her ring gear. I liked it. She also came out rocking a skateboard as well and started using it against Dakota Kai, which, my God, man. Shout out to Dakota Kai. This woman probably took the most abuse in this match. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she took I'm pretty sure she got like thrown with the skateboard. I know she like landed on like her stomach on like the steel grates between the ring, I think, with Raquel, and then you had Raquel stuff her in a trash can, and then Cesaro swing her around, man. Like, this poor woman was probably taking the most abuse in this match. So shout out to Dakota Kai, man. She definitely earned her paycheck tonight. But yeah. So let's talk about the main stuff. So. Later on in the match, after Io and everyone else got involved, Cora Jade made her. She made that like they put like I don't know if it was Dakota. It might have been someone. It might have been that one of the other chick in Toxic Attraction that isn't besides Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose. I forget her name. They like had her on the table. Cora Jade does like a swan dive or whatever off I'm pretty sure she did it like off the top of the cage, and then hits it, beautiful. The table freaking explodes, looked amazing. And then it looks like she got it. Now this, of course, like a lot of you, I was confused at this point of the match whether or not all of this would happen here was storyline or if she legit got hurt, because she was like really like selling her like arm and her shoulder. She was like screaming in pain, and then the medics actually started to come in trying to assist her and like get her on the match because she was like crawling towards the entrance to like the doorway. And then Io says, no, closes the door and then pops her shoulder back into place. This whole thing, I'm like, is this a storyline? Is she legit hurt and Io decided to call an audible? I mean, I'm not even surprised Io knows how to pop a shoulder back into place in the middle of a match. She's a Joshi. And you guys know that Joshis and Japanese strong style, they don't fuck around with that shit, man. They're basically out for blood. They freaking kill each other more a lot in Japanese wrestling. So I'm not even surprised she even knows how to do that in the middle of a match. But yeah, I don't even know if this is a storyline, if this is legit happened. She did mess up and she did like dislocate her shoulder or something, and then Io put it back in place to keep her in the match. I mean, to be fair, she didn't really do much after this. She more or less just stayed in the corner on one of the rings and just kind of like just selling her arm. And Mandy would eventually a couple times come in there, kind of beat her up and all. And some of the other members would come in there and get her off her. But she ended up sneaking the victory by, like, after Raquel, like, did her choke slam on the other member of Toxic Trash. Kaylee, and, like, after it was Gigi Dolan and Raquel both big booted each other. They both are, like, on the floor, and then Dakota just kind of looks around. She notices that she's on the ground, and then she just rushes and gets the pin. And she actually gets the 1, 2, 3. I was shocked that she actually had the pin, because I thought when she, like, snuck under that, she was still going to kick out, considering how long it took. But no, she ended up getting the 1, 2, 3, which is that's kind of surprising. I mean, that always shows that they're definitely very high on Cora Jade, and but whether or not you think that they're ready to like start throwing the rocket pack on her when she's only 20 years old, like she's still pretty young. But yeah, man, they're very high on her. Curious to see what this is gonna happen. I'm curious if we're gonna find out if this was all a shoot or all this was a work, or if she legit got herself hurt and Io actually popped her shoulder back into place. That was weird, man. That was weird. But I guess, maybe we'll find out in the coming days whether or not what that was all about. But still a fantastic match. A lot of great spots and very enjoyable matches that I was thoroughly entertained by, ladies and gentlemen. So next up, we had Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner versus Imperium. This match was fucking amazing. This was probably the second best match on the card, man. And I have to say, Fabian Eichner, this man is deceptively agile and deceptively strong. Like you had this one part of the match where like Von Wagner jumped at Fabian Eichner, and the man catched him in midair, was went down to his knees and just was squatting down to almost the ground, and then pushes himself back up and throws him and they mentioned that Von Wagner was 280 or 300 something pounds, and so I'm like, bro, he is way stronger than he looks, And then we see him jumping from the top rope on one side to the top rope on the other, on the other corner of the ring he was on, to do a crossbody. Then you had that one part where he was coming at Kyle O'Reilly, and then Kyle got away, but but then Fabian Eichner jumped up to the top rope, and then in one slow motion then hits with Von Wagner with a crossbody or a cannonball or something. I was just bro, what the fuck? Bro, that shit was shocking. And then later on in the match, we had Kyle Ryan, I believe also Fabian Eichner. He locked him in with heel hook, then locked him into Hell's Gates, and it looked like Kyle O'Reilly was gonna win the match, but he ended up because Fabian Eichner was starting to fade, and he was kind of on the ground, but then he picks him up, puts him up in a powerbomb position. The Imperium do their finisher, and they of course get the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly are in the ring, and then Kyle O'Reilly turns on Von Wagner, starts ranting and some shit, doing DX crotch chops and the Undisputed Era hand sign as well. And I'm like, bro, this man went to his inner Bret Hart for a hot second, So that was quite entertaining and quite shocking. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I just seen Kyle O'Reilly just losing his fucking mind, man. That was entertaining. And then I believe here is where we actually had that Kato Jiro vignette, I think his name, the Japanese guy that wears the jackets. This one, it was dumb, but I did find it kind of humorous, especially once he got on the shitter and he was had to take a massive dump after taking these huge slices of pizza just because of the sound effects. You thought this man was dropping nukes with the sounds they were making. It's dumb, man. It definitely doesn't really, and it also proves that Triple H isn't in charge anymore. But I found it humorous enough. I was entertained by it. It got a chuckle out of me, man. Next up, we had the hair versus hair match between Cameron Grimes, and Duke Hudson. This was a great match. These guys were constantly going at each other. You even had Duke Hudson like try and grab the rope to get the advance, but then the ref is like, "Hey, get off there!" Wade Barrett's like, "Oh, this referee should be fine. He's such a terrible referee." It was pretty funny, man. But anyway, Cameron Grimes eventually wins the match, and of course, everyone starts getting ready to he's like, Duke Hudson's gonna lose his hair and shit. He gets him ready, but then the Duke starts to fight back because he doesn't want to lose his hair, and then Cameron Grimes gives him the stuff, gives him the cave-in, puts him in the chair, and shaves his head, man. It was fun. It was entertaining, man. I enjoyed that match. Not the greatest match in the world, but it was an enjoyable match. So then we have the Cruiserweight Championship match between Joe Gacy and Roderick Strong. First off, I gotta tell Joe Gacy because I haven't really mentioned him in a video yet. I have mentioned him a handful of times. If you guys do follow me on Twitter when NXT is on, but I'll say it here for you guys that don't. I fucking love Joe Gacy. Out of everyone at NXT 2.0 and the new NXT Avengers, he is probably my favorite just because he is basically poking fun and mocking SJWs. And y'all know how much I fucking despise SJWs. So seeing someone kind of poke fun at them and mock them basically as a parody of them, I find that shit incredibly entertaining. It's like, oh, we need to be inclusive. How dare your Cruiserweight Championship? You were fat shaming, weight shaming. I will make an all-inclusive championship. I fucking love this shit, man. I fucking love seeing Vince or whoever poking fun at SJWs and laughing at them and parodying them. This shit is entertaining to me. This is grade A television for us. I fucking love Joe Gacy, man. I love his character. I love when he's on screen. And every time he's on the mic, man, I am ready for a good time, man. I'm listening. I fucking love Joe Gacy. This was another great match. Very good match between these two guys. You eventually had Rockstar ripping his shirt off and chopping him, and then we find out they actually was a tank top under his shirt. And then later on in the match, we saw Joe Gacy actually leap over the top rope and landing on two of the other members of Diamond Mine. And then this is probably the highlight of the match, low key, where the woman of Diamond Mine, I forget her name, is having this little stand up with Joe Gacy. She takes her chains off her neck. She's ready to throw down that. And then his big guy, I forget his name, picks her up, and then she's trying to get out of him. And Joe Gacy's like, no, let her go, trying to calm the beast down. Woosha. Don't know why I referenced Bad Boys 2, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, puts her down. The match continues on, and Roderick Strong retains his champion, which I'm actually surprised by. I thought they were going to give Joe Gacy the belt, and I always kind of wanted to see him win the belt just to see what they were going to do with the Cruiserweight title, and if they were going to change it to an all-inclusive championship or whatever. But who knows? Maybe on Tuesday night we'll get a rematch, and then they'll switch, and then the Bay with the belt will switch hands. I don't fucking know. Either way, it was a good match, entertaining for what it was, and I enjoyed it. Then that, of course, leaves us for the men's War Games match. Team Black and Gold with Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny fucking Wrestling, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight, who really isn't part of, he wasn't really, completely an NXT OG like the other three are, because, he kind of came out around the tail end of NXT before he kind of transitioned over, but I was kind of surprised they went with him, but then again, I guess they couldn't use Kyle O'Reilly because he was busy with Von Wagner, so I guess they couldn't really use him. And I don't think there's really anyone else from NXT, from OG NXT like those guys that they could have used instead. But hey, I love LA Knight, so I didn't mind it. And then, of course, we had Team 2.0 with Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo. Hey, I'm walking here. I love Tony D'Angelo, man. Yes, I love it. It might be cheesy, but I like the Italian mobster shit, man. It's entertaining. I find it funny. I always enjoy me some Italian mobsters. Oh, I'll give you a deal that you cannot refuse. I haven't even really watched The Godfather. It was like that. Anyway, This match was fucking amazing, man. First off, of course, like I mentioned at the start of it, you had Johnny coming out to Rebel hard, and his gear was all of his takeover uniforms, all hodgepodge and mixed together, man. Oh, man, I loved it, man. So as the match began, we had Johnny versus Carmelo Hayes. They were going at it, and then eventually because T2 got the advantage, Johnny like took out Carmelo, and then did like I think he hit him with like one final beat, or it might have been that like shotgun spear thing he does to take him out. Then I believe it was Grayson Waller was the next one that came in, and then eventually everyone else came in there, and you had I believe it was Tony D'Angelo like straight up locking the chain, like he brought this chain in the match and like locking the door and like wrapping the chains around so the door was locked and he couldn't move it. So then when LA Knight came in there, he had to like climb on top of the cage to get in there, man. That was pretty great. And then when Braun Breaker came in there, he like the referees were struggling to open using like the bolt cutters to like cut open the lock. And then when Braun Digger, he was doing it, he couldn't break it either. He was struggling too. I was kind of laughing at this. I'm like, bro, even he struggled to get this goddamn thing broken. But eventually he did. He eventually got up and was running into the match. Then, of course, Ciampa came in there, and my man was out for blood. He was hitting everyone with everything, man. It was glorious, of course. You had the classic takeover, like, you know, mosh, like fucking brawl that always happens, man. It's always legendary every time it happens, man, in War Games. I fucking love it. You had like Pete Dunne, of course, like he like I believe it was Tony D'Angelo he was using. He like broke he was like pulling back his finger like between the like holes in the cage, so his finger was like really bent back there and looked nasty. He was like stomping at their hands using trash cans, or he was just like jumped on top of it, man. I'm like, bruh, rip his fingers. And then of course you had some DIY comebacks between them. That was fun. And then like you had this one time where I believe Johnny hit one final beat, or it might have been some other move, and then like he goes for the pin, 1, 2, then Carmelo pulls out the referee, and bro, everyone was booing him. I was super pissed off at this, and then Johnny grabs Carmelo Hayes like he's like fucking Goku did to Radix in like the Saiyan saga of Dragon Ball Z, and then like Piccolo, he sacrifices himself so that Tommaso Ciampa can hit him with a knee, taking the boat that Piccolo used his fucking special beam cannon or whatever the fuck the move is called to take him out. But then he like goes for a fairy tale ending with, I believe, Tony D'Angelo, it might be someone else. But then Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere and fucking spears Ciampa through a fucking table, and then that's how he wins the match. Obviously, like everyone else, I wasn't shocked by this. I kind of knew going in that 2.0 was probably going to win this match because fuck the OGs, I guess, but a part of me was still hoping, please, let the OGs win. Please, tell me NXT isn't true, my NXT isn't dead. But yeah, man, the match was amazing. There was a bunch of other spots I didn't really talk about because the match was too goddamn insane, man. I fucking love this match, man, and I fucking loved Takeover War Games this year, man. I was shocked with how much I enjoyed because I was kind of worried if this was going to be as good as previous takeovers, just because, you know, Triple H ain't running the show no more. But hey, I was proven wrong, and like I said, I think I might have liked this more than 4 years. But anyway, guys, of course, I am going to give Takeover War Games, like always, a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. I fucking love this show. All the matches were great, man. A lot of them were, especially the tag match and War Games match, men's War Game match in particular. Those matches were spectacular, man. Fucking love those matches, man. And it's a sad day because this probably is the last time I'm going to see Johnny on NXT and at a takeover. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a goodbye ceremony on NXT. Doubtful because he's a Triple H guy, but who knows? Maybe we'll get that. Not hold my breath for that. And also, Beth is leaving NXT. Don't know why. Has there been a reason why she's leaving NXT? Did she just want to move on to something else, or is there something else behind the scenes that I'm unaware of? Like, because I heard about Beth leaving and they mentioned it on the show, and I'm like, why? They never really gave you a reason why she's leaving. Don't know if that's been reported on like the Observer or something, but yeah, I just wanted to bring it up just in case before I forgot. But yeah, man, I'm curious what the commentary. I guess I'm curious with Beth leaving, if that means it's just going to be Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett on commentary. They're gonna bring in a third guy. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll finally bring back fucking Nigel McGuinness, and they're gonna bring back Nigel to NXT. Doubtful, but because I'm pretty sure he's still with the company. He's just doing NXT UK now. But so maybe they'll finally bring back Nigel. Please let there be some semblance of NXT that I love still be around. Please, I missed him so much since he's been gone since the pandemic, along with Morrow. It truly is the end of an era, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, while I have a midlife, while I cry myself to sleep knowing that NXT now is truly dead, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave you off with that, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, like always, leave your thoughts down below in the comments, man, about what you thought about Takeover. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave it all down below, guys. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like, if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. She's too bad.